Good morning, everybody. It is Monday, September 29th, 2025. We are one game out from wrapping up week 4 of the NFL season and wrapping up and putting a bow on the 6th way mark of the NFL year this year. And there are some contenders, there are some pretenders. And guys, I think our Detroit Lions have righted the ship after a rough starting week 1 in Green Bay. And oh, how the mighty have fallen. Green Bay tying the Dallas Cowgirls in overtime last night. What an interesting twiggery twisty-do we had going on over there for you. We will be taking a look at that, though, guys. First and foremost, we're going to be starting our day off talking about NFL contenders and pretenders entering Week 5. Which of the 7 2-2 teams can you trust? Also, guys, just a side note, if you hear any background noise or see high visibility reflections on me, I'm having some work done on the chimney right outside my door, right outside the window right here, right now, and it is what it is. We're going to make the best of it. There's some pretty cool guys. They were like, well, you know, we're gonna be making some noise. I'm like, dude, you're golden. Mad Hatter Nation understands the plight of the working man, and then we're going to swing on over to foxnews.com/sports/Cowboys, Packers, and classic slugfest tie. Cowboys and Packers and slugfest in tie. Bart Dingus, Brandon McManus scored the game-tying field goal in overtime. Admittedly, I had some money on the game. I didn't hit a single goddamn bet last night, guys, because I needed the Packers to win and cover the spread. As the game got into overtime, I was like, well, I turned into the SpongeBob meme and said, well, I think I'm going to head on out. And that was that for that. Not a great week of bets, but, you know, even when the Packers tie, it's almost as good as watching the Packers lose. So it was a nice thing. We will be sticking around Jerryville. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones on paying Dak Prescott, not Micah Parsons. Quote, Dak was indispensable in my mind, and Micah wasn't. My eyes aren't too far apart. So we'll be taking just a little pokey poke there at NFL.com before getting into the meat and potatoes of everything. The thing we are here to talk about, and that is our Detroit Lions avoiding what could have been a potential trap game against the Cleveland Browns. Now, there is something to be said that there are 2 games in a row now, both against NFC North opponents, so maybe that's just something to do with their division, but twice now midway through the third quarter, at the very latest, our opponents are packing it up, packing it in, and I'm going to go ahead and let me begin boarding the bus because we just physically break our opponents. I said at the beginning of the show on Sunday at the pregame show, I fully anticipate John Morton breaking this lauded Cleveland Browns defense. And, yeah, well, we did. And he did it exactly the way he intended to. Patience with the run game, beating them down physically, and letting Jared Goff. Now, we took a shitload of shots, a metric fuck ton of shots towards J-Mo deep on play action. And, well, you guys were here for the bets. J-Mo came up 2 goddamn yards short of hitting my over 42 yards. Now, J-Mo, my guy, you're here for a while. We just signed you to an extension. I know you do a lot of other things really, really well. I, myself, continuously beat the war drum of how great of a downfield blocker you are. But unfortunately, my dude, when you are a receiver in the NFL, my dude, your job is to first and foremost catch the goddamn ball. Motherfucker had 7 targets and 2 catches. He had, and now I understand a bad day is a bad day, and it might have been the yips, but God damn it, bro. Like, just catch the fucking ball. But anyway, we'll be taking a look at Pride of Detroit. Brandon Knapp, 5 takeaways from Lions win against the Browns. The Detroit Lions defense defeated the Cleveland Browns on Sunday afternoon. Here are 5 takeaways from the victory. So we'll take a look at that, see what's coming out of that as well. The most important thing, guys, we're going to be kicking it over to Pride of Detroit. Our guy, Jeremy Reisman. Lions injury update. Both cornerbacks leave early versus Browns. Latest injury news on Detroit Lions starting quarterback DJ Reed and Terrion Arnold. Now, this did come out yesterday, guys, and as you know, we are consistently going live about the time that all the news is breaking. So if we're live and there is some news that breaks about the injuries, please feel free to drop it down in the chat below so that we can dive into it. But as it stands right now, not a lot of news. TA is kind of shoulder situation. But DJ Reed really started to come on the past couple. Let's be honest, he's getting cooked here or there, but had that huge interception against the Browns early on. Well, I guess it was the second interception. And Kirby Joseph, my oh my, just loves to grab thrown away passes. But DJ Reed really starting to turn it on, become a standalone one for the Detroit Lions. And it was painful. You watched him in chasing Jerry Jeudy, and he just came up lame. I'm hoping that it's just a pull of a hamstring, but when a guy just falls to the ground like that from a non-contact injury, it's generally not a good thing, which is leaving me a little uneasy because we're starting to see shades of what crippled us last year. That being said, there is an article here that I found for you guys over at SI. Obviously, Sports Illustrated has the same vibes that we have. What are we going to do now that our secondary has been gutted? Yes, it's very obvious that we have the luxury of Amik Robertson, and talk about a massive pickup in Rocky Sin being able to come in and play good snaps. But Enos the Penis Breakstraw can't stay healthy. Terrion Arnold is, well, right now he's not healthy, but even when he's on the field, other than being a good tackler, cannot be expected to be out there on an island. We're going to need a little help, guys. We're going to need a little help. We're going to need some bodies. So SI has pulled us 6 names that the Lions could target. The Detroit Lions are dealing with injuries on both sides, on both of their starting cornerbacks. So what can we look around? Who's some names? Are some guys that we maybe worked out in camp a little bit? None of the names are really going to pop off the list to you, none of the big names. So I do have pulled up over here some guys still available that we can go ahead and take a look at. Go over to the available list. Obviously, you see the name, list of names. We'll kind of poke around over here. Obviously, the big one that I'm high and mighty on is 26-year-old Asante Samuel Jr. Wouldn't be surprised if we maybe work out Emmanuel Mosley just to see him get hurt again. But Stephon Gilmore, maybe a little James Bradbury action. I don't know. Thinking though something's got to be done, but it's probably. Let's be honest. Let's just address the elephant in the room. Probably not going to be any of these big name guys. That is not really what we do, right? It's probably going to be one of the guys on the other list, especially some guys that we have familiarity with in training camp. So now that we got that stuff out of the way, guys, let's do ourselves a little call to action. If you haven't already, would you kindly subscribe to... Oh, okay. All right, gotcha. I had another audio bar magically pop up, and it weirded me out. Sorry about that, guys. Thought I was just being silent this whole time. So if you haven't already, would you kindly walk on over to that subscribe button? Subscribe to the channel if you're new here. Ring that notification bell so that you can be notified every single time we go live Monday through Friday, as well as those extra special pregame shows that we have for you whenever the Lions play. We will be live with a little pregame action for you, making some bets, doing our thing. And then while you're there, go ahead and salt the like button, hit it with a 2-piece and a biscuit on your way over to the share button. The most important button you can press is to share this video around with all your friends, family, and if you don't got no friends or family, go ahead and copy this link down on your clipboard below. It is the easiest way to get our name out there. We are steamrolling towards 750 subscribers. Once we hit that, oh boy, it's just a hop, skip, and a jump to full monetization at 1,000 subscribers, guys. We are 60 hours of watch time away from me being able to unlock and open up memberships and super chats for you guys. I have some things in the works going on upstairs if we do elect to go the membership route, some type of bonus members-only content that I can bring for you guys. Something we're kind of working on up in the old peanut housing, you know what I'm saying? So just something to kind of keep an eye out for. There is a poll up in the chat. And the question is do we have the return of the Hutch? Now he's back to run the show. 100% of the vote, 0% say, nah, I'm a commie. Good morning, Mad Hatter Nation. How you doing, Mom? Mr. Detroit City. My views are on a lot in life include Jesus, the Second Amendment, and JMO will never change. Exactly. Brent DeWitt, how you doing? Cheeseheads went all the way to Dallas to kiss their sisters. Fool's Gold Peckers, 100% Brett DeWitt. Nice chat. I like that, brother. Carrie Simtich, good morning, brother. How you doing this fine Monday morning? Best thing that could happen, no Green Bay win, no Dallas win. That's, in reality, I was rooting for the Cowboys because I can't stand the Peckers, but the actual situation is the best outcome actually happened, and that was the game resulted in a fucking tie, and that's absolutely awesome. JMO didn't do well for my league team. He needs to catch the ball. Yeah, well, Mom, and I missed out on about $900 thanks to Jamison Williams being an absolute turd. Craig, how you doing? Hutch has got to be so great with his punches at the ball to cause turnovers last 2 weeks. Dude, he's got that punch. Aiden Hutchinson has a tremendous amount of on-field awareness. I mean, his processing power upstairs is he's 6 steps ahead. He's playing 4D chess. Morning, Sam. How you doing? BB had some nice pass breakups. That kid can just flat out ball. Craig, 100%, dude, 100%. And you know, he's close to getting interceptions, but if he's breaking up passes, if he's leveling, I love the way BB plays ball. I love the way it's a real throwback physical game. And unfortunately, though, you might as well just put a big fucking red dot on his helmet, because if he farts in the wrong direction, he's going to get flagged, and it's fucking ridiculous. Derek Harp, good morning, brother. It is really early out there for you, my guy. I was telling Hat and Boobs, I was like, God damn, dude, that time difference, man. Derek Harp is a fucking gangster, dude. Turning up at 10 a.m. here, it's got to be early as shit out there, brother. I really appreciate that, dude. Good morning, and how you doing, my guy? J-Mo, I'll venture to say, was not splitting the atom in school. That being said, you can't teach that speed. I know, dude, you can't teach speed, and the evolution of J-Mo is getting there. The problem is St. Brown doesn't drop those, and we're so used to St. Brown. We're so used to St. Brown not dropping sure hand St. Brown that when J-Mo, and the thing is like, J-Mo is so electrifying when he gets the ball in his hands that it's like we just want to see the big play. We just want to see the big play and the big speed. You know what I'm saying? And it's a big letdown because not only are you dropping the ball, but you're literally dropping the ball, but you're also dropping our hopes on this big explosion play that we love. It's magic when he gets the ball in his hands 9 times out of 10. You know what I'm saying? Art Vanderlei, how you doing, bro? This might be the first game that Branch got a full paycheck, no fines. Yet. I'm sure they'll find one reason or another to fine him, dude. I'm sure, Art, that they'll find one way or another to get Brian Branch's money out of him. Jake Paul better watch out for Aiden's punch. Ha! Yes, Mr. Detroit City. Aiden's got that claw, dude. He punches that fucker out. He's swatting at that ball, dude, and he's got that freakishly long reach, dude. J-Mo better be hitting the jugs machine. Yeah, they better have J-Mo, Tesla, and Amon-Ra. You know, Amon-Ra set the tone. Tesla's been following suit. I think Lovett does the same thing. But J-Mo needs to get his happy ass on that jugs machine. I need you to have hands, bro. Your job is to catch the fucking ball, dude. All right, so now that's out of the way. We're going to transition into the other thing. I need you guys to let me know in the chat. I've been having tech issues with the opening. I think I have them solved. Again, I can hear it in my headphones. Okay, I can hear it, but I don't know if you guys can hear it. Can you please let me know just a yes or a no sound when we do the opening? Broski Bear, what's up, dude? I appreciate the shout out, my guy. How you doing this morning, brother? Good to see you back, dude. Josh Jacobs and Pickens balled out for me. Oh, hell yeah, Sam. Dude, Sam, when I was watching Pickens just fucking booger Pickens his way to all kinds of points, I was like, oh, Sam's happy. Sam's over there reveling it. You always hear Jocko in your internal headphones. Hell yeah, dude. I'm not going to lie, guys. I start my day. I listen to a couple of I mean, not only do I listen to the Underground podcast, but I also listen to some Jocko motivational speeches. Have you ever shot a DD MK18? Nope, I cannot say that I have, my guy. Cannot say that I have. Did you just pick that up, my dude? If you're in Chicago, you might want to arm yourself, dude. Shit's getting wild out there. All right, guys, let me know if the audio runs. We're going to get into the show.
If you can say the word good, guess what? It means you're still alive. It means you're still breathing. And if you're still breathing, well, then hell, you still got some fight left in you. So get up, dust off, reload, recalibrate, re-engage, and go out on the attack.
All right, that was funny, Mr. Tracity. Hell yeah, thanks, guys. That's awesome. I gotta laugh at that. That's funny. Mr. Detroit City says Jocko sounds good. You know, when you get up at 4 a.m, he says, "Attack, let's go." Good. You have the opportunity to get better. All right, guys, let's lube up the gears. Hit the oil can. Oh no, dude, I do it for you guys. You guys are awesome because you turn out and make me not feel like a crazy person. All right, guys, here we go. NFL.com. NFL contenders and pretenders entering Week 5. Which of the 7 2-2 teams can you trust? Real quick, just shout out. Doesn't Drake May look like a little boy? He looks like a boy. Like, I ain't got nothing against Drake May, but, like, doesn't he look like a high schooler? I'm sorry, Drake May. No offense, dude, but, like, you just don't look like an NFL first-round draft pick quarterback when I look at the mirror. Am I in Chicago? Broski, no, dude. I do not live in Chicago, and I have no desire to ever go to Chicago, bro. I live in the mid-Michigan area, so almost as bad. We're officially 4 weeks into the NFL season, so it is time to start taking stock of what's happened over the past month. We know the Eagles are still the Eagles, and they've won 20 of their last 21 games, stretching back to the 2024 campaign. Some other playoff teams from last season continue to look strong, the Bills, Bucks, Rams, and Lions, while others are working through some challenges, the Chefs, Ravens, and Commies, and Texans. We've even seen some upstarts ascend to catch our attention, Jacksonville, Indianapolis, and Seattle. This won't be a full-scale evaluation of all those teams with winning records. Instead, the focus is on those hovering at the 2-2 mark. About 37% of teams in that category have reached. My sod is being just absolutely obliterated right now. I can hear my grass outside weeping as they turn their tires without moving and dig into my. You gotta move when you turn the wheels. You gotta. This edition of the First Read will tell which of those current squads are strong choices to play in January. First up, the Arizona Cardinals. The Cardinals are a tough call. I don't know why I said Arizona. Is a tough call for this type of exercise. They would be more intriguing if they played in a different division. Since they're operating in the NFC West, it's hard to sell them as a serious threat to hit the postseason. There are too many teams in that division that think Arizona is going to magically climb over all of them for a playoff spot. The Rams, Niners, and Seahawks are all 3-1. It's even harder to do that when you're dealing with some challenging offensive problems. There isn't much chemistry between quarterback Kyler Murray and second-year wide receiver Marvin Harrison Jr. A foot injury ended the season for running back James Conner in Week 3, and there aren't enough weapons after standout tight end Trey McBride. Yeah, their defense is a little better, but that's only going to get this team so far. The other teams in the division are a step ahead of Arizona. Assessment! Oh, shit. Clicked on the damn button. I'm a stupid idiot. Assessment. Pretender. The Atlanta Falcons. The good news for the Falcons is their beleaguered offense finally showed signs of life. That 34-27 win over Washington revealed a lot of what Atlanta thinks it can be. Quarterback Michael Penix Jr. passed for 313 yards and 2 touchdowns with an interception. Running backs Bijan Robinson and Tyler Algier scored tuggaroos. Wide receiver Drake London had 110 yards and a tuggaroo on 8 catches. Atlanta head coach Raheem Morris had been waiting weeks for those types of numbers, so you have to hope this is a major turning point for the team. On the other hand, the Falcons already have dropped 2 division games, and one of those came at a 30-0 loss to the Carolina Panthers. You don't get that taste out of your mouth with a win over the Commanders team that didn't have Jaden Daniels available. The best hope for Atlanta has to be reaching the playoff involves winning the NFC South. These Falcons need to start winning division games for that to happen. Assessment. Pretender. Oh, here you go. The Chicago Bears. The Bears are easily the most confounding team in this bunch. They have good talent and good coaching, but it often feels like they're falling short of expectations when you watch them. That's probably just a byproduct of hype. Having the first overall pick in the 2024 draft, playing quarterback Caleb Williams and an acclaimed offensive wizard at head coach Ben Small PP Johnson makes it really hard to be rational about anything this team does. A lot of people, this writer included, keeps waiting for the fireworks to start with this offense, and it remains a slow burn. The first 2 weeks were rough for Chicago, a blown fourth quarter lead against the Vikings and a 52-21 shellacking at Detroit. The win has come over the last couple weeks, but there's nothing overly impressive about beating Dallas or Las Vegas. The problem the Bears face is the same one that most teams in the NFC will deal with this season. There are too many teams in the mix for playoff spots. Chicago certainly has the potential to get hot and qualify for the postseason. However, it's not worth jumping on that bandwagon until a few quality wins emerge. Assessment. Pretender! That's right, Pretender. The Kansas City Chiefs. It was a great weekend for the Chefs. Their offense finally shook its early season funk and performed at a high level where most were more accustomed to seeing in the 37-20 win over Baltimore. Kansas City also picked up a game in the AFC West race after the Chargers fell to the New York Giants. If both these shout out Jackson Dart. Yo, good on him, dude, for real. First NFL start, slaying the 3-0 Chargers. Let's go. Now Kansas City has renewed confidence and plenty of reasons to think that catching up in the division. Patrick Mahomes finally looked like himself as he threw for 4 touchdown passes against Baltimore. The defense stifled scary sparkle spice Lamar Jackson once again and kept a team that had been averaging 37 points a game in check. There should still be concerns about how viable the Chiefs' running game is. The team averaged 2.8 yards per carry when Mahomes and wide receiver Xavier Worthy weren't carrying the ball. But head coach Andy Reid did show more commitment to it. This was a get-right game for the Chefs amid a formidable opponent. That says a lot about where they'll be come January, which is where they usually are. Assessment: contender. I don't know about that. Maybe, though. I'm starting to think that maybe Baltimore just isn't that good. Or, as we've seen historically, these powerhouse teams run into the Detroit Lions, and big brain Dan Campbell figures out how to beat them. And then because the NFL is a league of parity and Dan Campbell is a trendsetter, everybody follows suit. Minnesota Vikings. The Vikings are also waiting for their quarterback to return from injury as J.J. McCarthy has missed the last 2 games, including Sunday's 24-21 loss to Pittsburgh in Dublin. Some reports had McCarthy missing between 2 and 4 weeks when he sustained that high ankle sprain in week 2. If he actually needs to miss another couple weeks, and head coach Kevin O'Connell has been given no definite timeline. The Queens could survive that. They have the Browns this week in London, and a bye after that. Anything past that point, it gets real sticky for Minnesota. The Vikings face the Eagles, Chargers, Lions, and Ravens following the bye, making their most grueling stretch for the season. It doesn't matter how creative their defense is under coordinator Brian Flores or how resourceful the Vikings have been with backup quarterbacks under O'Connell. That's the brutal gauntlet to go through without your starting quarterback. We'll give the Vikings the benefit of the doubt here, but they better get McCarthy back soon. Assessment: contender. New England Patriots. We got 2 more teams, guys. We're almost there. New England Patriots. There are things happening in New England that you don't want to see at the start of Mike Vrabel's tenure as head coach. Second-year quarterback Drake, 12-year-old looking May, has shown signs of improvement as he's completed 74% of his passes with 7 touchdowns and 2 INTs through 4 games. After a season-opening loss to Las Vegas, the Patriots have earned 2 victories over teams more in their weight class. A 33-27 win over Miami in Week 2 and Sunday's 42-13 beatdown of Carolina. The problem is New York has never felt like a team capable of an instant turnaround. But it isn't brimming with talent, and the usual competition for playoff spots in the AFC is going to be fierce. You already have the usual suspects when it comes to the championship contenders, a group that includes Buffalo and Kansas City. The road to the postseason for an upstart team gets even tougher when factoring that those squads have started the year hot, which includes the Colts and Jags, and those that are good enough to rebound from slow starts, Baltimore, Denver, and Houston. New England already looks better with Vrabel at the helm, but don't get too crazy with this one. It's going to take some time. Sorry, Butcher, Mr. Beantown Breakdown, but the assessment is pretender. Let's go. Last and finally not least, the Commies. Whoopsie daisy. The Washington Commies felt the absence of quarterback Jaden Daniels this past weekend. Backup Marcus Mariota, who did win a Heisman, was capable enough to lead this team past Las Vegas in Week 3. But the Falcons presented a different test in the 34-27 loss. The problem is the Falcons didn't feel like a strong challenge coming in, as their offense was averaging 14 points a game through the first 3 weeks. Not only was Mariota an issue, he only threw for 156 yards, but Atlanta lit up the defense for 435 yards and several explosive plays, completely popping the narrative that I had justified my bet on Washington. It says here that the offense will look a lot better when Daniels is back from injury, along with a couple more key performances on that unit. Wide receiver Terry McLaurin and Noah Brown were sidelined as well on Sunday. It's been reported that Daniels should return from this week's game against the Chargers. That's when you'll see Washington set things right. The Commies made the playoffs last season with a mediocre defense. They can do it again. Assessment: contender. So there's some pretenders and contenders. What do you got, chat? How you doing? Yes, Chargers. Yes, broski. It's my attempt at French. The Los Angeles Chargers. Let's go. Hey, Lions fan. Hey, Brandy. How you doing? Good to see you. Good morning. Dart is a Mormon legend. Damn straight, Mr. Detroit City. Headed to Cincy for a game. Anyone else going? Oh, shit, Art. That's awesome, dude. You have a good time down there. Enjoy that, dude. Represent. Hopefully you walk out with a big W. I will not be going. This weekend, I'm going to have a hard time watching the game. Work. My job's trying to fuck me every way to Sunday. Check this out, guys. So I am now the only person on my shift because we had a guy retire on days, and they're not going to fill his position yet because we're $500,000 in the negative. So they moved the guy from second shift. I turned down first shift because I don't do first shift. My boss is a dill hole. They moved him to first shift. So there's twice the amount of manpower on day shift and only me on night shift, which means I have to work a goofy schedule to cover all the events. My boss hole on Friday decided that he would schedule the first shift employee overtime this upcoming Sunday. Schedule him overtime. Didn't even ask me if I wanted overtime. When I made an issue of it, he told me, well, then I will take the overtime away from him and I will assign you to work a whole shift at straight time. How the fuck does that make any goddamn sense? How the fuck does that make any goddamn sense? Like, what the fuck, dude? So not only do you violate the CBA because now I won't be able to have 2 days off consistently because I have to work a goofy schedule to cover all these events, but in my doing so, I don't even get rewarded for my upending of my personal life in a goofy fucking schedule by earning extra income. Instead, you're just going to hand it over to some other fucking guy who's technically not even through his probation yet. I have 4 years seniority over everybody else in my department, motherfucker. What the fuck, dude? What the fuck? It's super uncool. Ain't that right, Brandy? It's super uncool. Broski, so actually, I am making a deal of it. So I'm UAW, so I'm getting the union involved. I'm also the union steward and lead negotiator. But on Tuesday, tomorrow, I'm bypassing all of my manager because I got nowhere. His boss, because all my boss's boss said to me was he sent a fucking thumbs up emoji. He sent a thumbs up emoji in a text message when I raised a fucking deal about it. You know what I'm saying? So I am now going to the corporate, because we just got bought out by an international fucking ownership group. I'm going to go to the big boss because what everyone fails to see is that I have already got this international company to change their company policies because I went, that doesn't make any sense. And they went, you're right, that doesn't make any sense. So this company with over 300 locations worldwide and thousands of employees, I simply said, no, change that. And they went, okay, that makes sense. So I'm just going to bypass everybody, go right to the big dog. And they're going to go, yeah, no, pay the motherfucker his overtime because this is fucking ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Sounds like idiot logic. Brent, right, dude? Like, that's the thing. That's what I can't get over. It's just like, okay, the respect issue, I'm mad about the lack of respect. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, it's just like, do you fucking idiots even hear the words that you're saying? Do you hear what you're saying? And that seems rational to you? If that seems rational to you, you're a fucking idiot. You know what I'm saying? Ugh. Sorry, guys. Had to go out on a little bit of a rant. You know what, dude? If my boss hole is watching, he can lick my brown eye, dude. Right after I have a big, muddy, sloppy, pork-filled shit, dude. Yeah, fuck him, dude. Fuck my bosses, dude. They're a bunch of fucking idiots, bro. Yo, check this out. 4 years ago when I started, I was like, why do you guys still run steam? Why don't you have a central boiler system here? And they were like, because it's too much money, right? Meanwhile, they spend $100,000 a month to have the steam on 12 months out of the year. Why do we run steam and heat 12 months out of the year? Well, Hat, because if we shut the steam off to the building in the middle of the summer, all of the seals will shrink and leak, and we'll have to fix all of the leaks. So they just spend $100,000 or more a month because they don't want to replace gaskets. When I started there, now, years ago, I worked for a company that did lighting retrofits from CFLs to LEDs and shit like that. So I know kind of how much you're going to be saving, how much it costs and all that shit. And I suggested to them 4 years ago, I was like, hey, why don't you cut everything over to LED? And you know what they told me? They told me, well, I won't recoup my losses for 5 years. Well, if you'd have done it when I started, you'd be at that point already. You stupid fucks. Gadgets that probably pennies to buy. Exactly, Chase. They are very, very cheap. And they just don't. The long and short of it is they just really don't want to do the actual. They want to show up. It's very performative. You know what I'm saying? Like, the people that I work with, they have this mentality of like, after work, they go home and like, oh, well, I did a good job today. I was wrenching on things and I was pounding a pipe with a hammer and I worked really fucking hard. I don't know what I fucking did, but let's all head down to the dock and sing fucking sea shanties together. Like, they're just so fucking delusional, man. Bro, I work at a company that is a commercial entertainment facility, and our HVAC units are so old and outdated that the fucking controllers that we have to buy, the controllers that operate the automated fucking HVAC system, the controllers are no longer manufactured. And we have to, for a commercial entertainment facility, we have to buy our parts from individuals on eBay. Does that make any fucking sense? But remember, guys, because my boss, who's only worked 3 jobs in his entire life, he's 64 years old, he's only worked at 3 places his entire life, because he can't actually say the word mechatronics, he doesn't think that it's a real thing. When I tell them about the robots and shit that I worked with, they honest to God think I'm making it up. They think I'm just making it up because they can't grasp the concept. They cannot grasp it. I have to listen to people they have to tell me what to do. I'm supposed to trust them when they send me into dangerous situations. I have to trust these people who, honest to God, could not sit here and tell you the difference between an amp, an AMP, and a stamp. And I mean a fucking postage stamp. That man makes over $100,000 a year. How awesome is that? Earn us for a long time. Watch corporate let basic building and equipment maintenance go for years and hoping. Exactly, dude. Like, they just do not want to maintain shit, bro. I do not understand. They go, why is this place such a shithole? I mean, well, because the fucking air handlers are falling through the roof that's rotting out. And they go, well, we put those air handlers on back in 1996. They should still be good. You fucking dipshits. Dude, leadership is just so fucking bad. And the problem is that leadership is so bad that the next group of people who could take over in leadership roles are so dissatisfied because they know that it's pointless. They know that it's pointless. So, look, I'm going to be honest. I could probably lead my department really fucking well. Everybody on second shift is always like, why don't you apply for the manager job? You literally run the whole building on second shift. Everybody comes to you for everything, and not just fixes. Because I make fucking decisions. Because I make decisions, I put my nuts on the fucking table. The problem is that the majority of people, I cannot say all people because I have had good managers. Okay. I have had, you guys realize that there is literally a guy that I didn't even work for. I didn't even work for him. Okay. And I have more respect for this guy after one fucking interview than I do for anybody that I have in my business department, because most people that I work for now, most people in positions of leadership have no fucking balls. Now, not only do they have low testosterone because they have fucking littered their brains with plastics and they have plastics floating around in their nuts, but they're fucking neutered. Oh, well, I can't make my boss sad. Fuck your boss, dude. Oh, well, what if they tell me no? Then they tell you fucking no. Oh, my God. Oh, it's some motherfuckers that walk around with their nuts tucked safely in their wife's purse, dude. It's just a bunch of bullshit. Now, the manager that I actually have respect for, I'm not going to use the guy's name, okay, because I don't feel like doxing him. But his last name's really unique, and I was just like, I got to ask, man, are you related to this girl? And he's like, that's my little sister. How do you know her? I'm like, well, she graduated a year ahead of me. I fucking had a couple classes with her, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, this was for a commercial, like, real estate maintenance company, right? And I interviewed, and I crushed the interview. I'm really good at interviewing. Crushed the interview, and then he called me back like a day later, and he's like, "Hey, we're going to go in another direction." And I was like, "That's cool. Thank you. I appreciate you at least letting me know," because most places, I don't know if you guys have been on job hunts, most places don't even fucking give you a rejection callback. You know what I'm saying? But this guy, not only did he physically call me? No email, no fucking HR bullshit. He physically called me. But then I went so far as I was like, "Brother, I'm having a rough go because I've been on a lot of interviews, but something just isn't fucking working. I keep not getting, you know what I'm saying?" And like, I was like, "Am I an asshole? Is it me? Is it this, that, and the other thing?" And he just flat out, he was like, "Dude, you are so overqualified for anything that I could possibly give for you. You're going to be bored within your first day, and there's no way you're going to work for me long term, dude. You're going to be so fucking bored. You are so grossly overqualified for anything that I could fucking give you." And I was like, "Thank you at least for being," because now I won't even waste my time going, like, I'll just realize that avenue is pretty much closed to me because I'm so overqualified. You know what I'm saying? So I at least really appreciate that. But my current bosses, dude, they're a bunch of fucking idiots, bro. Find a way to work for yourself in a bubble or like-minded people on similar paths. Dude, that's just it. So, I don't do what? Don't do companies make. What do you mean, Mr. Detroit City? Don't do what? Make a big deal of it? I'm just trying to find a way, like you say, to work for myself and financially become independent. The long and short of it is I just don't like working for people. My brain works in a real like high. I like to find the most efficient way to do things. I don't like wasting time, and I routinely find I like it's fun for me to solve problems. You know what I mean? I like taking complex problems and finding solutions. And if you need more efficiency, I like sharpening the pencil. You know what I'm saying? Oh yeah, no, dude, I'm never going. No, dude, no, yeah, Mr. Detroit City, no, for sure. So, this is my take on any type of leadership. 9 times out of 10, 99% of the time, really, management positions are salaried jobs. Okay, and salaried, both in the way you're treated and in the word itself, the letters, is way too fucking close to slavery, brother. Way too close to slavery. Attila, I think she's talking about, I think Brandy's talking about how my bosses are buttholes, dude. I think they're talking about that being uncool. All right, guys, so Cowboys-Packers, classic slugfest. We'll breeze through this real quick. Do you guys even want to talk about this game? The Cowboys needed to respond to a Packers touchdown. Cavante Turpin turned to a kickoff near midfield. It only took 4 plays for Dak and the Cowboys to find the end zone. Following a 19-yard pass to Tolbert, he found George Booger Pickens for a 30-yard touchdown. Dallas drove 54 yards in 62 seconds for the go-ahead score. And I will say this. It looked like fuck the monarchy. Hell yeah, Attila. Hell yeah, brother. That's what I'm talking about. Fuck yeah, guy. That's what I'm talking about, bro. Hey, did you have a good time down at the game yesterday, dude? Did you have a good time? I hope you just came to say hello to Broski. Hell yeah, Broski. You're getting a little celebrity action right now. You've been gone for a while, brother. Did you have a good time down at the game, Attila? I hope you had a good time, dude. Green Bay was quick to get back up the field. Packers quarterback Jordan Love led the team down the field in 7 plays to set up a game-tying 53-yard field goal by Bart Dingus. In overtime, the Cowboys got the ball first. Prescott found Tolbert coming back to the ball to make an incredible catch on the sideline. Somehow, Tolbert got both feet down in bounds to set Dallas up in the red zone. The Cowboys didn't get into the end zone. Parsons probably saved a touchdown with a sack of a scrambling Prescott. It was Brandon Aubrey who hit the chip shot to go up 40-37. It was Love's turn to lead the charge. On third down, the Cowboys may have gotten away with a defensive pass interference call, but it didn't deter Love. The quarterback found Matthew Golden, first-round pick, to keep the drive alive. The Packers nearly ran out of time to make the final throw to the end zone, but he was left with 1 second on the clock. McManus came onto the field to kick a game-tying field goal. Love was 31 of 43 with 337 yards and 3 touchdowns. Each of his touchdown passes went to Romeo Doubs. The wide receiver had 6 catches for 80-some yards. 58 yards. Josh Jacobs was a menace on the ground. He had 2 rushing touchdowns to go along with an 86-yarder on the ground. He had 4 catches for 71 yards as well. And I got to admit, when you think of Josh Jacobs, he kind of is a little bit more of that bruising, big body back. But there was a catch and run that he had late in the game where even I was like, God damn, that boy can move. Josh Jacobs, when he gets up into that higher gear, I'm not trying to glaze the guy because he plays for the Packers, but Josh Jacobs is low-key got some actual breakaway speed for as big as he is. You don't think it when you look at him. That dude's got some wheels. The Cowboys show that they weren't just going to roll over and let the Packers walk all over them in their house. First, Dallas picked up 2 crucial points when they blocked the Packers' extra point attempt in the second quarter and ran the ball back for a 2-point safety. Then the Cowboys took advantage of Green Bay's offense appeared to get complacent. Towards the end of the first half, Cowboys linebacker James Butthole Houston caused Love to fumble. He recovered it and gave Dallas a chance to score before the halftime. Prescott found the Pickens in the end zone. Dallas had a 16-13 lead at halftime. And then, did I blow past? Oh, yeah. Pickens had an incredible game for the Cowboys. He had 8 catches on 11 targets. See, that's what you do. You see, JMO, when you are heavily targeted, you need to have a heavy number of receptions. 134 yards and 2 touchdowns on 11 targets and 8 catches for George Booger Pickens. Prescott was 31 of 40 for 319 yards and 3 touchdowns. He was only sacked once. It was an interesting game. When I turned it on, I was like, and I'm not a Cowboys fan, okay? I'm not a Cowboys fan. I might even be classified as a Cowboys hater, but Javonte Williams is kind of good, dude. Even with CeeDee Lamb out, the Cowboys' offense is not bad. They are not bad, if I'm being honest with you guys. Hey, Attila, thanks for the live updates from the game yesterday on Roar the Lions UK. Too many injuries I had to zoom in on, like Reed, Hutchinson, nothing, Kirby, TA. Almost thought Ratledge got. So did I, dude. So did I, bro. So I'm glad that Hutch was just cramping up, but dude, the shots that they showed to the fans when Hutch was laying on the ground, we were all, even I was like, oh my God, it's happening again. I was terrified. Yeah, dude, Broski, nailed it, dude. Javonte Williams is running like a truck this season. Yeah, dude, Javonte Williams is running like a very angry man, dude. Went to the Bears game chat yesterday. They were celebrating like they had won a Super Bowl with that blocked kick against Vegas. They were just happy not to lose. That's awesome. That's awesome, guys. Damn, I am really dragging ass today. Cowboys owner Jerry Jones on paying Dak Prescott. Do we want to read this? I don't really feel like reading this. We're just going to go ahead and bypass this. This was more of a filler article, to be honest with you guys. Let's talk about Lions football. I'm just going to go ahead and close that out. Let's talk about Lions football. I was lip reading Hutchinson on the sideline to make sure. Hatton Boobs was reading lips too, bro. She's like, I think he's saying it's just a cramp. But I was like, oh no, not Hutch, not again. Oh man, especially because he had just started to turn it on. That's why he's on the thumbnail with the laser eyes, guys. The Hutch man cometh, the Hutch man taketh away. 5 takeaways from the Lions win against the Browns. This is coming to us from Pride of Detroit. Brandon Cupp. Penalties cause pain, but don't cost Detroit Lions the game. I need the penalties to get cleaned up. It is obviously not crippling us yet, but it's sloppy ball. It's sloppy ball, and it's not the standard that we are used to our team playing at. So we need to clean up the penalties. Now, clearly, the refs are a little heavy-handed with the flags when it comes to Detroit. Now, the game against the Browns, I'll say it was called pretty fairly. Obviously, my biases kick in, and I see a lot of penalties against our guys that don't get called. But that's just the nature of the game. It does go both directions. Now, I do feel like the refs this last game against the Browns were pretty fair. I cannot say the same for Bill Vinovich in the Monday Night Football game, but you guys know how I feel about Bill Vinovich. He tries to impregnate Lamar Scary Sparkle Jackson's asshole with his tongue every time that they have a game. While Cleveland's defense wasn't causing issues for Detroit, the Lions didn't help themselves with penalties called on them. On the opening drive, the Lions defense was called for 3 penalties, all holding in the secondary. Even though they were not accepted due to the Browns' offense moving the chains, it was still good. It still wasn't a good thing to see. Then, if we include the flag called on Detroit, they got 3 more for 15 yards. In the second quarter, Jahmyr Gibbs had a solid 24-yard run with back-to-back false starts and pushed Detroit back and eventually forced the team to punt. Going up against a team like Cleveland, you can't keep them in the game by messing up and hurting yourself. Detroit finished with 6 penalties for 35 yards, and if this was against a better opponent, it might have been more impactful. Turnovers came up huge. With the offense sputtering, they needed some assistance. And while punter, a.k.a. field relocation specialist for the Detroit Lions, Jack Fox boomed a few punts deep to push the Browns' offense back, the secondary finished them off. First, safety Kirby Joseph got his second interception of the season from a pass by Browns quarterback Joe Flacco in the second quarter. After the Lions again can't move the ball on offense, cornerback DJ Reed dove and picked the ball off and returned it inside the Browns 10. That was a fucking sweet pick, dude. He sold everything. He sold out his body and his soul to make that interception, dude. That was a fucking sell-out play right there. Lions in the fourth quarter with the Browns down by 17. Defensive end Aiden Hutchinson had a big strip sack on Flacco, and Detroit recovered. The Lions took advantage of the short field and put up a touchdown to go up 34-10. 17 points for the Lions came off turnovers. So without those, we might have seen a closer game. Detroit had struggles on offense, but when the defense gave them a short field, they executed, and it didn't make it all for nothing. Number 2, the pass rush must improve. Just want to make sure. Getting 7 sacks against the Baltimore Ravens was impressive, and while it's not something I expect them to repeat, 3 sacks against the Browns is fewer than I expected still. I was hoping we hit about the 5 sack mark. The Browns were without starting right tackle Jack Conklin, and while the Browns allowed 23 pressures, it felt rare for Detroit to have an impactful pressure. Hutchinson led the team with 8 and got to Flacco twice. That forced fumble by Hutchinson was the dagger in the game for the Browns. Were down by 3 scores with just a few ticks over 7 minutes left. Al-Qadim Muhammad, who had an explosive 2.5 sack game last week, had only 19 pass rushing downs and generated a single pressure. I think he had a knee issue, though, heading into the game. The Lions can't continue to put all the pressure on Hutchinson to be their only pass rushing edge. Help is coming soon, but for Muhammad to be silent after strong performance is disappointing to see, but he was dealing with an injury all week. He's also a pass rush specialist. He's not his exposure, his reps are going to be much lesser than Aiden Hutchinson's. He's not a 3-down defensive end. The Browns' offense is one of the worst in the league, and for Detroit to only get 3 sacks seems lackluster. Here we go. Third verse, same as the first. Injuries are adding up. The Lions' injury bug hasn't been an impactful this season, with only a few players on IR, and many returning from injuries suffered last season. Against the Browns, 4 starters went down with an injury. 2 of them returned. Hutchinson and Joseph were the lucky ones to return, but the Lions' starting cornerbacks DJ Reed and Terrion Arnold weren't as lucky. Both left the game with injuries, but Reed's exit appeared to be more severe than Arnold's. Reed left the game with a hamstring injury in the second half, but he didn't just walk off the field. He left on the cart. Usually when a player needs the cart to leave the field, it isn't a good sign. We don't know the extent of the injury yet, but it'll be something to focus on for the foreseeable future. If something breaks while we're live, let me know on the injury news. Arnold left the game with a shoulder injury and didn't return either. With both starting quarterbacks now suffering injuries, the Lions might need to turn to fellow cornerbacks Amik Robertson and Rock Ya-Sin to contribute more on the field. We saw defensive back Avonte Maddox play when Joseph was down with an injury, so he could play at the nickel if Robertson needs to play on the outside. The JMO connection was shut down, and we were trying to hit JMO on that game-breaking passes. When the Lions quarterback Jared Goff attempted the deep shot against the Browns to wide receiver Jamison Williams, they couldn't connect. The first one was an underthrown ball by Goff. The second would hit Williams in his hands, but he struggled to find it. The Lions got a free play and missed out on a pass to Williams on the third attempt, as Goff just chucked it in hopes he could turn it into a big gain. The worst of the attempts came the third quarter, as Goff was loading up for a deep shot to Williams again, and it was vastly underthrown, as Browns cornerback Denzel Ward was all by himself and picked it off. Usually Goff can connect with Williams on the deep shots, but it seemed to be an issue today between the two. Some of the throws were on Goff, who underthrew it on some of them, while others were on Williams, as he wasn't looking for the ball, or it hit him right in the hands. The pass is dropped by Williams, who had a difficult catch to make, but despite it being difficult, if it can hit you in the hands, you should come down with it. You don't usually see that combo struggle as much as they did today, as Williams can eventually break free, or Goff can place the ball perfectly. It was a down day for JMO, and yes, yesterday I was so fucking mad. I was so fucking mad at Jameson Williams. I was pissed. JMO just... he came up fucking 3 yards short for me, brother. But the reality is that's going to happen. It's going to happen, dude. Some days you're just not going to have it. Now, what can J-Mo do? Well, he can turn it around and have himself a monster game against Cincinnati. Go back to the well. Go back to the well and rebuild that confidence, rebuild that connection, because it is a very explosive connection. Jared Goff can launch that fucker, and as long as our run game continues to be as just much of a wrecking ball, a powerhouse of this offense as it is, we will continue to be able to take those long, deep play-action shots with Jameson Williams, because you can't stop every weapon on the field. Goff needs to work out. Yeah, Sam, you know what I was kind of thinking? Didn't Jared Goff look really tired? Like, his eyes, he looked tired. And I'm not saying it's a negative thing. He does have a newborn at home. Maybe he's a little he's just got a lot on his plate right now. You know what I'm saying? Because Jared Goff just looked really tired in his facial expressions, and we actually seen a very small amount of frustration out of Jared Goff. Now, what is frustration out of Jared Goff? That is him not just unclicking his straps, but going, click, a little bit harder than normal. If J-Mo could run rounds, look for the ball, and catch the ball, the Lions would have won by 60. Motown, you're right, dude. Yeah, if J-Mo caught 2 of those 3 passes, he scores on both of them, dude. You know what I'm saying? He looks skinny. You know what I'm saying? Jared Goff does look kind of skinny. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, Sam, and Reed did get carted off, which sucks, dude. It really sucks. Yeah, I tell you, you're right. Might have to bring Aleem back a week earlier to help the secondary more effective with the drop in depth talent. You're not wrong, dude. That could be a thing, dude. That could be a thing. Ah, gotcha. Okay. Sorry, I was just reading the chats. I'm just sliding through the chats. Just poking through the chats, but yeah, I've always kind of thought if Jared Goff could be a little bit more of a physical specimen, it'd help him out a lot. All right, boys and girls, let's take a look at the injury update. Let's refresh this page, see if there's any updates. Ooh, cold coffee, very good. Nope, no injury updates yet, so we're not going to read them. Oh, hey, how's it going, Dad? Good to see you. Looks skinny. Sliding into the DMs. Hell yeah, guys. You know, if you ever, Attila, if you guys ever do want to try and message me directly, you can find me on Instagram at the Hat and Beard Show. You can add me on Instagram and feel free to message me over there, dude. Now, I'm going to be very, very honest with you guys. I am not the best at getting back to messages. Just ask Chase. So no new news on DJ Reed or Terry and Arnold yet. So I was just kind of keeping an eye on that right there. Let's take a look, guys. See here, Sports Illustrated 6 cornerbacks the Lions could target. Some names we know, some names we don't know. First on the list, Duke Shelley. Shelley is a veteran in the NFL, starting his career with Chicago in 2019 after being selected in the 6th round. Since then, he's bounced around on practice squads and active rosters for 5 teams, but most recently being with the Colts before final roster cuts this season. The Tulane product is one that the Lions have expressed interest in before, with Shelley trying out for the Lions during rookie minicamp this summer. Stephon Gilmore. Old Stephon, the 2019 Defensive Player of the Year, remains unsigned following his tenure with the Minnesota Vikings last season. Gilmore has produced at a high level in previous years, being a 5-time Pro Bowler, and the 35-year-old has yet to hang up his cleats. With the Lions' current roster, this team can promise Gilmore more chance to chase his 2nd Super Bowl ring. Gilmore has nearly 150 pass deflection in his career, including 9 last year with Minnesota. With the Vikings coming to town November 2, this could be a savvy move by the Lions. That's something we could actually consider. We know Brad Holmes likes to pluck away from divisional opponents, and that would be. I still think Stephon Gilmore has enough in the tank to be a stopgap mid-season, a little bit of triage on the wound. Jalen Davis, Bengals practice squad. Davis was a 2017 All-American with Utah State, but went undrafted. After stints with both the Miami Dolphins and Arizona Cardinals, Davis settled with the Cincinnati Bumbles. He has logged 52 games with the Bumbles over the last 5 seasons, but only saw field in 2 contests last year. Davis is primarily a slot corner, with his last game experience on the outside being 10 snaps in 2023. If anyone has advantage knowing the Bengals' offensive system, it would be Davis. He has seen them in practice every year since 2020. This is a name that I kind of liked coming out of the draft. He, let's be honest, did not live up to expectations. But could the Lions be that team, kind of Jared Goff, Andrew Booth, free agent. Booth was a former top 50 selection out of Clemson by the Minnesota Queens. While Booth did not pan out for the Queens, lasting only 2 seasons, he did add 7 games and a career-high 2 starts with the Dallas Cowgirls last season. The former All-ACC selection showed lots of intrigue, but mix of injuries and a failure to meet expectations has him on the outside looking in for the NFL. With the current roster situation for the Lions, bringing in Booth as a 4th or 5th option is not a bad idea for a flyer. In his most recent career start, he played 87% of the Cowboys snaps against the Philadelphia Eagles, whom the Lions travel to in November. Tyson Russell, free agent Russell, was an undrafted rookie in the 2025 NFL Draft and did not earn a roster spot with the Lions during rookie minicamp. However, the Lions called him back before training camp began, and the former Vanderbilt corner spent fall camp with Detroit. Russell did not make the 53-man roster out of camp, nor did he even earn a spot on the practice squad, but he spent the whole offseason learning Kelvin Shepard's defense. Russell would know the roster, staff, and locker room if he is called upon. In Shepard's system, he recorded 78 snaps at outside corner, and his PFF coverage grade was 62.5, including an interception against Houston during the final week of the preseason. Russell had some moments to learn from, especially against the Dolphins during joint practices, but also provided some flashes. Finally, Nick Whiteside, free agent. Whiteside, much like Russell, spent the entire preseason with Detroit. Whiteside also spent the 2023 and 2024 preseasons with the Washington Commies, who are on the Lions' schedule later this year. Whiteside was much more of a boom or bust product on the field with the Lions this preseason than Russell. The Saginaw Valley State product had 2 pass breakups, one each against the Falcons and Dolphins. However, in his other 2 games against the Chargers and Texans, Whiteside coverage grade was an abysmal, with PFF scoring him both contests below 40. Houston in particular was rough for Whiteside, as he was credited with allowing 7 of his 8 targets to be caught for 94 yards. He was also whistled once during the game for a penalty. That said, Whiteside has more experience in the league than another option such as Russell, and the veteran played nearly 20 more snaps in the outside corner spot than the rookie during preseason, too. Chat, what do we think? What do we think about that? The Browns are trading for Cam Johnson. No shit. Are they really? Crazy. Should have been a 50 burger yesterday. Damn straight. If he catch that, the big paycheck. Fuck yeah. Oh, Cam Robinson. Damn. Well, yeah, I can't blame him, dude. Their tackle play, Attila, was not great. You seen it. You were there, bro. You seen it. MCD's having a press conference at 2. Okay. All right, cool. Thanks, Brandy. I appreciate that. So we won't miss it. We'll cover any news that comes out of that tomorrow during the live show. Appreciate that, Brandy. Thank you so much. Why didn't they target Tesla? Yeah, Carrie, that's a good question. I don't think Tesla even got 1 target. He wasn't on the field a tremendous amount, though. I've seen a lot more Raymond out there, as well as 2 tight end sets. So maybe it just wasn't a game scheme that was conducive to Tesla, or he just wasn't in the game plan as much. I did say, though, every time J-Mo dropped the ball, I'd just go, yeah, Tesla doesn't do that. He catches them fuckers with 1 hand. Yeah, shout out, Brandy. Thank you. That's awesome. Thank you for the heads up on the presser. So, chat, how are we feeling about the defensive back situation, specifically the cornerback room? I'll be honest, there are 3 names on this list that really popped to me. I guess 4 names. I am not high on Duke Shelley. I am not high on Jalen Davis, other than he does offer that Bengals, the next opponent, insight. Obviously, the safe and logical selection of this list alone is Stephon Gilmore. He comes with the pedigree, he is proven, and he is a solid stopgap. Everyone else outside of him doesn't have the resume. But everyone outside of him is a lot younger. I like the Stephon Gilmore move if that's the route we go. I also really like the Andrew Booth move if that's the route we go. Boom or bust with Booth, but if you're bringing him in to kick the tires on him, see what you got. You could have another very young guy that just needs a little bit of retooling. Maybe this is the shot that he needs to figure it out. But I'm not necessarily opposed to Andrew Booth. Again, he comes with a youth, bad pedigree in the NFL, let's be honest. Never worked out. 2 years, that's not a long time to be basically out of the league. That's a big red flag. But you were a top 50 selection at one point, and you did play in the ACC. You were an all-ACC selection. So you do have, or at least had, a relatively higher ceiling than most. Can we fix that with Andrew Booth? I'm not opposed to that. Tyson Russell. I like Russell. He's young. He's from Saginaw Valley. Right? Did I read that? He's from Saginaw Valley? Or is that Whiteside? Is that Whiteside that's from Saginaw Valley? Regardless, I like Tyson Russell and I like Whiteside because we have familiarity with them. Because we've seen them in practice, we've seen them in preseason. I think Tyson Russell is actually the move. I really do. Brad Holmes likes the younger guys. We have experience with them and we know what we're getting. Unfortunately, the downside to Whiteside is he got torched a couple of fucking times, really hardcore in the preseason. So if I were to put my money on anybody on this list alone, put my money on Tyson Russell. But if I were to have my pick, I'm going after Stephon Gilmore. That's what I'm doing. What do you think about that, chat? Tesla wasn't getting much separation. He's still a work in progress. Yeah, Brent, and that's the thing. He's, let's be honest. He had a couple of nice flash plays week 1 and 2, and now we're seeing more tape on him. Teams know what they're doing with him, and he was a third-round selection. There's going to be ebbs and flows. He's also down the pecking order of the targets. You know what I'm saying? Hell yeah, dude. We don't deserve Brandy. She does so much work, dude. Like Brandy's you're like jacked into the Matrix. You know what I'm saying? You're like jacked into the Matrix. She it's like at this point, I swear to God, Adam Schefter, like leagues call Brandy and then Brandy calls Adam Schefter. That's what happens. All right, guys, so let's just peruse real quick. We're just gonna take a quick look here at available free agents. She definitely puts. Damn, Attila. The info and stats, yes. Had to take a breath. She definitely puts out, the info and stats. We fucking love you, Brandy. We love all the hard work you do around here. You are a fucking staple in this channel, dude. You are a fucking pillar of the community, and I appreciate it. I appreciate all of you guys hanging out. All right, guys, so here we have a list of some guys, cornerback free agents that are still available. And here you see a list of guys. James Bradbury, Kendall Fuller, Stephon Gilmore. Oh, there's Emmanuel Mosley, Corey Ballantyne. Ooh. Ha, ha, ha. Ha, ha, ha. Hell yeah, we are, dude. Yeah, Carrie says she's very special and we're lucky to have her. I am starting to figure that out. I'm going to be honest. You guys have shared this video around a shitload. You guys share me around a lot. But I'm going to be very honest. I can show a direct increase in traffic to my channel and viewership ever since Brandy showed up. Once Brandy showed up, it's kind of like the floodgates cracked a little bit more, But and that's not to take away from everybody else doing all the heavy lifting. I mean, for fuck's sake there. For a while, Mr. Detroit City, you'd have thought he was my goddamn publicist. You know what I'm saying? And I appreciate it. But legit, dude, yeah. Brandy, you showed up. And you just brought, like, the fucking cavalry with you. And it's awesome. It's fucking awesome, dude. I'm here for it. I'm totally here for it. So, guys, there is one big name on this list, and we've talked about him a lot. He's expensive. But he's a name that has popped time after time after time after time. Asante Samuel Jr. Do we go Asante Samuel Jr., guys? Is that the move? Relatively good pedigree, not too old, high athleticism, still a free agent. If you're looking to meet somewhere in the middle between Stephon Gilmore and Tyson Russell, doesn't Asante Samuel Jr. just kind of fit that mold? Now, I don't know. Maybe. I don't know enough about Asante Samuel Jr. Is he CJ GJ? Is he a yap, 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 yap? Is he annoying? You know what I'm saying? Or does he just not have the reliability? Has he been too dinged up, too injured, too, like, why is special ed from Crank Anchors? Hell yeah. Why is Asante Samuel still on the free agent market? Why? He has 6 interceptions in his career, no more than 2 in a single season, no sacks. He's played a lot of fucking snaps last year. So last year was he hurt? Did he just get hurt after week 4? Because after week 4, he played 4 games and then he was just done. But every other season he's played 12, he's played 17, he's played 17. With high snap counts, 92%, 96%, 98%. Solid number of tackles, solid number of solo tackles, no forced fumbles, some INTs though. What is the deal? What's the deal with Asante Samuel Jr.? Well, he missed the whole season last year due to a shoulder injury. Is he a mouth? Why isn't Asante Samuel Jr. signed? Signed because he is recovering from off-season neck injury and is targeting return for the second half of the 2025 NFL season. He underwent a spot. Okay, that's why. Damn. Spinal fusion surgery. Yikes, boys. Due to a combination of shoulder and neck injuries. Ouch. Malik Neighbors out for the season makes the... Oh, shit. Yeah. Oh, dude, Attila. Shout out Attila. Thanks for the news, dude. Appreciate that, brother. Yeah, I seen Malik Neighbors got carted off the field, and it didn't look very pretty. The way he went down, it didn't look very pretty. Not sure what CBs we have on the practice squad, but due to expectations of the teams, rather bring in an experienced vet. Brent, shout out. So, guys, are we on the Stephon? Okay, so I'm going to be off Asante Samuel. It's nothing against his skill set or his availability or his pedigree. It's the availability. Why would I be replacing injured players with a injured player? All right, so I got to be I'm off Asante Samuel. I'm off Asante Samuel Jr., guys. I think we should be off Asante Samuel. That neck fusion surgery, that's wild. Come on. There we go. So who else could we take a look at? Let's look at Bam, I want available. Okay. Do we like James Bradbury? Or what about Kendall Fuller? Kendall Fuller might be a nice option. A little bit younger than Stephon Gilmore. Pretty decent pedigree. Do we bring in a Jordan Poyer and slide Avonte Maddox down to the nickel? Is that what we do? He should not play at all. Exactly, Mom. Yeah, with a spinal fusion surgery, yeah, he should not be playing football. That's a fucking bananas thing to do. Oh, we could go get Cam Sutton, and he could beat the shit out of his wife and then run from the law. Ooh, yeah. Caleb Fairley, I mean, not a terrible option. Not great, not terrible. Not great, not terrible. Last 2 years, he was in Carolina. Let's look at his stats. He's a former first-round pick. He just doesn't seem to be able to stay healthy. Yeah, not very impressive numbers. Not very impressive numbers. But does he come with? Oh, he's been injured. COVID-19, ACL, back. All right. Well, there's a reason why these guys are free agents, because they can't stay healthy. God damn, he was born in 98? Ugh, it's fucking weird. That sounds weird. Jesus Christ, Brent. Seriously? Spinal fusion isn't good. I'm a L5S1. Jesus Christ. So the L5, that's your lumbar, right? Lumbar 5 and S1 would what would the S1 be? Would that be like up in your neck? I have no idea what where the S is. I'm pretty sure that the L is lumbar. Damn, bro. Dude, I worked with a guy many, many years ago who he had spinal fusion surgery, and he was like, the one thing the doctor told me, they asked me, like, are you a side sleeper? And he was like, yeah, I'm a side sleeper. And the doctor just goes, you're not anymore. Like, it's like, damn. Cervical lower back. Okay, so is that like, well, here we go. Let's use the internet machine. What was it you say, S1? Did I read that back? Did I read that right? Correct. That's sacral lower back. I keep thinking spinal tap. Turn it to 11. Hell yeah. Did I read that right? Where the hell did that go? Oh, there it is. Yeah, okay, S1. Sorry, guys. Oh, dude. Oh. Damn, Brent. So you're like fused right here, huh? Let's move this over just a cunt here. You're like fused right here. You don't have no cartilage there, huh? Damn, bro. All right, so I have been dealing with SI joint issues right in here. Is that, are we talking the same area? Is that what the S is for? Is for sciatic nerve roots? Sciatic for the cervical vertebrae, the uppermost bone in the triangular cericum at the base of the spine where the lower back transitions into the pelvis. S1 is also known as the cervical base. It is a crucial weight-bearing structure. Jesus Christ. Damn, Brent. Fuck, dude, that's gotta hurt, bro. I'm not even trying to be a bitch. That's gotta fucking hurt, brother. Had a spinal tap once before they figured out it was my liver. Got a liver transplant a couple years back, not from drugs or alcohol. Damn, Attila. They put you through it. I'm glad you got a new liver, brother. I'm glad you're able to get a new liver. Damn, Brent. I'm sitting over here talking about, fuck, I got an ice pack on my lower back. You're over here like, my lower back doesn't move. Damn. Damn, dude. That is... Because I deal with pain in this vicinity all the time. Like, some days, my lower back is so locked up that I feel like I'm walking around like a cripple. Like, I kind of got to swing my legs and shuffle a little bit because it feels like it starts right about here for me, right in that fucking joint right there, and then it just radiates down my fucking sciatic nerve and all the way around into the front of my pelvis, dude. U of M is good for something. I'll tell you what, dude. There, a guy who I'm no longer friends with, he had he had 2 heart surgeries, but under the age of 25 down at U of M. And funnily enough, he's a big Spartans fan. He said to the doctor, he's like, dude, just don't let me die. And the doc's like, well, we're going to do our best. And he goes, no, you can't let me die. If I die in Ann Arbor, I can't get into heaven. But yeah, dude, U of M's good for medical, dude. I ain't going to lie. I don't blame you there, dude. I don't blame you there. A guy that I used to work with, he had a bunch of his cancer surgeries done down there, dude. They, like, legit, they took chunks out of his face with a robot. And they did it, like, the doctor it was all done robotically. So, I mean, they did take part of his face, but it wasn't as egregious as it used to be. You know what I'm saying? Damn, Brent. I can't say that I feel your pain, but I sympathize because I also suffer from, especially in this lower SI joint area, all the fucking time. I have found some exercises where I can get this joint kind of right here, the L5S1, to pop a little bit. I can get a little bit of release, some tension off of there, but damn, brother. We are so stacked and we're playing the Bengals. Let our guys get healthy. Don't need to rush after what I saw with the Bengals and the Chefs. Yeah, Kerry, you're kind of right. We do have a little bit of a luxury. at least these next couple weeks. We do need to get right for Tampa, though. Tampa, I'm telling you guys, Tampa's a gritty fucking team, dude. Tampa's a fucking gritty team, and they're gonna be swinging, dude. They're gonna be swinging for us. They got something to prove. And Baker Mayfield, he's playing, dude. He's playing. They got some weapons there. You know, the ducky goes quack. You know what I'm saying? Ducky Bucky Irving goes quack. You know what I'm saying? So. Well, boys and girls, that's going to do it for today. We talked about some things and some stuff and some stuff and some things. We bypassed some stories because they just weren't worth reading today. I just didn't have it in me to read filler stories, guys, and we were having a good conversation amongst us here down in the chat. So, finally, if you guys are new here, subscribe to the channel, ring that notification bell so you can be notified every time we go live. Be part of the Mad Hatter Nation Monday through Friday, 10 a.m. to 11 a.m. here at YouTube.com. We are the largest, fast-growing NFL and Detroit Lions content creation station in the 10 a.m. block, broadcasting live exclusively from Grandma's Studio One. It's the Hat and Beard Show. Guys, try and have yourself a good rest of the day. Stay out of trouble. Don't do anything we wouldn't do. We'll catch you tomorrow right back here at 10 a.m. Till then, I've been Hat and Beard. You've been attentive audience. Bonga bonga. Frick off.